What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another deck profile here on TCG University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and today I'm going to be going over this Noob Saibot deck from the Mortal Kombat DLC. If you haven't seen one of my deck profiles before, basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be telling you more about how the deck wants to work, how it wants to operate, as opposed to just reading off the cards verbatim inside of it. So with that said, let's jump into the profile. All right, so Noob Saibot. This character is really rad out of the new Mortal Kombat DLC, and he is probably the most hyped character that exists because of his amazing response. It says response card pool flip after an attack is played, mine or yours. The attack is plus X or minus X damage, X equals its printed damage. So if you got a big beefy attack coming your way, you can respond with Noob, flip him in your card pool, and then cancel it. And that's not just playing as Noob Saibot as your starting character, that's under anybody that you toss this guy into. But the main reason to play him as your main character is to get that enhance. Add a character card from your staging area to your card pool, commit and freeze one of my opponent's foundation, a foundation in my opponent's staging area. So I've got Noob attached to my character like so. I use the enhance and then toss him into my card pool, increasing my progressive difficulty, commit and freeze one of their cool cards, and then during after they play an attack or I play an attack, I flip him inside of my card pool, and my attack becomes just that much better. I just toss these from my staging area as opposed to having to play them out from my hand. So obviously we are playing the additional 3 Noob Saibots. We're playing all 3 just to make, you know, all of our shadow clones work, to make that enhance happen. But the response is the main reason that we play the character. So up next, we're playing a little bit of gauge mechanics. Gauge says that after you hit with an attack and you deal at least the gauge throw or gauge number, you build a character that you could normally play. So we build in our noobs. So we've got 4 Shadow Throw. Shadow Throw is a throw. It says gauge, and you add noob into your card pool in order to play the Shadow Throw from your hand and then discard their attack. And then once you've played it, you then flip your noob Saibot, turning this 5 damage throw into a 10 damage throw, and then you gauge and grab another character, not the one that you flipped, obviously. But you know what I mean. This card is impeccable inside of noob. You have to play it at a 4 of. One of the strongest, most hyped cards that came out of the Mortal Kombat DLC set, but it's only really good for those gauge characters. Otherwise, you don't have the character to activate its response, and then you're not using the full ability of Gauge 5. The next gauge attack that we're talking about is also a throw. It is double Lightning Torture. This thing is absolutely massive. Gets plus 4 damage off of Noob. And then if you've got at least 2 characters somewhere, either in your staging area or in your discard pile, it gets even bigger. And so this card can get very big very fast, making the gauge happen, and just continue to combo out cards with Noob. The next gauge that we're talking about is Rouge Signet. This card's really rad because it counts as 2 cards in your hand as long as you have 2 or more characters. And so Rouge Signet's gauge is so small, it's a 2 mid for 2. Nobody ever wants to block that. Not really a good noob target to make it a 2 mid for 4. That's a regular. That's Lightning Torture. Why would I use my card for it? But what this does is it does get bigger for every noob that exists, and it lets me set up bigger and bigger plays, especially because it flips itself in the card pool. Really cool for a combo that we have coming up. The next gauge attack that we have are Triple Golden Arrow. This card kind of works in the same way where I toss Noob into my card pool and maybe I don't want damage. Well, I can flip this and it can actually get plus 6 speed because of the control of my character card is a 6. So it's a bit of a versatility card when it comes to playing and finding my extra characters. Up next, our last gauge attack is Double Prism Storm of Torment. Being a 7 hand size character, and if I have any sort of draw inside of my deck, it's very easy to play 7 cards for free. And if one of them happened to have been a Noob Saibot, I can respond and flip Noob and make this a 14 high for 14 because Prism Storm gives itself 7 extra speed, and it starts at 7 damage. Noob gives it an additional 7 damage. Just a really rad combo with Noob and Prism Storm. Not to mention, Prism Storm just like reloads all of your bullets. If you've used all 3 of your noobs and they're over in your discard pile, you just play the Prism Storm and then you just stack them all on top of your character with its ability. Just really strong, not just as the first card that you play, but if you have the 7th card, you play it as the 7th one and it's free. Onto the non-gauge attacks, we're playing under the order symbol, so we get actually access to some of Akuma's stuff. And when I first saw this inside of the deck, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was kind of weird. But the fact that a noob flips his own card in his card pool means that he has extra face downs. So not only do we have Dahatsu Shoten to make this thing nice and big, if we wanted to use noob, this is starting a 10 damage attack. But we also have the bread and butter, the big reversal, Congo, we'll just call it Congo. So we've got Congo, which we block with Noob Saibot, play Congo, response, flip. It's now a 4 mid for 8, and I can remove the face downs to pay for its powerful ability. A little dangerous because the face down that I'm removing is my character card, but if you're going to kill him, it doesn't necessarily matter anyways. So that was it for the attacks. We're going to move on to our actions. We are playing 4 Demon Realm Awakening as a 7 hand size character and only having 20 vitality. Throws accidentally kill us. And this is one of the easiest ways to make my opponent's throws not matter, or to make my cool big keyword attacks even bigger and better. Up next, we've got Double Here We Go. Because of the gauge mechanic existing for so long inside of the metagame, people have honestly just gotten used to it, and they know kind of the game plan that you have to have, and it is block all of the gauge cards that you can. And so with Here We Go, just as an enhance of add a character from your discard pile to your character, it really, really matters. Or even better, I can add, with Here We Go, add the Noob Saibot up to my hand so that I can then block with it later in the chain and then flip and use its ability, as opposed to being forced to stack it on and then use the enhance to add it in. Just being able to have a 0 low block or a 0 mid block that pretty much negates the next attack is very, very strong. Onto our assets, we're playing 1 Kal Yuga as a way to have my opponent stop attacking me. 9 times out of 10, this is going to just be a debuild deterrent. If you stun or debuild me, I response and then put a card up into your card pool. That doesn't feel good for anybody having this happen to them. We can pick some stuff up, like I believe Rouge Signet might be a weapon. We can pick up Golden Arrow. Rouge Signet is not a weapon. Maybe that's the only, yeah, I guess the only card that we can pick up is Golden Arrow, which does not feel amazing. But making sure that we don't get debuilt, we don't get stunned out, and kind of trading this eye for an eye mentality means that Kal Yuga is totally fine to exist in the deck. The last hat that we're playing is 1 Albion. This is my attack gains gauge 3. Really solid because we've got 2 gauge throw attacks that already have gauge. And so if we have Albion on board and these, and they're able to pop off their own gauge of gauge 5, gauge 4, adding on gauge 3 just is extra icing on our gauge cake. Not to mention, I can take and commit and add a noob up to my hand, block, and then use the response to flip and basically negate 2 attacks with 1 Albion. Very strong piece. On to our foundations. I want to talk about the aggressive foundations first. I put World Without Battle in the aggressive category, even though it does say flip -3 speed. It also says enhance flip +2 speed. We're already giving our attacks a ton of damage off of noob, and so making sure that we can have these 10 damage attacks, these 14 damage attacks hit, really, really important. And then the Desperation Enhance, if I have at least 1 face down card in my card pool, draw a card. Well, I'm noob. I've flipped my card face down. Now I can just draw a bunch of extra cards. All in all, a fantastic piece for Noob Saibot under 2 of his symbols. Up next, we're playing for the Power to Connect Realms. This card's really rad inside of Noob because of the fact that it says when you play a powerful attack, your opponent discards a card. One of our main kill conditions is that Congo or our Akuma's cards that all have powerful. And so I noob and then make my my powerful attack crazy big, and then I make them discard 3 cards. Well, I've doubled my my damage, and then they don't have a way to defend themselves because of not having a hand. Onto some flow cards. As a 7 hand size character and being so squishy, we have to make sure we have the correct blocks at the correct times. So we're playing 4 Never a Day Without a Training. Discard a card, draw a card, find our Noob Saibot in order to play them as blocks, or play them honestly inside of our attack turn to build them up. Or just making sure that we've got really good spam to commit and pass checks. Kind of the same boat, we're also playing 4 Voice of Reason. This card also just says draw the top card of your deck, but it's both you and your opponent discard a card, then draw a card. And so it's very worth, if we have any sort of way to stack cards. If we look at the noob attack, it actually says look at the top card of your deck. So inside of the this attack zone, we can be using Never a Day or Voice of Reason in order to pick the top card if we want it. Yeah, just all in all, a fantastic card. A little more draw power. Still, we're playing triple passing the torch. I just want to see as many options as I can, and cycling through the cards that I don't want with either draw, discard then draw, or even just passing the torch of commit, draw one, might just be what is needed to clutch the game out. More flow cards. We've got 4 Bearer of the Mackay Whistle. This card just says flip, take Noob, and put him in your discard pile. And your gauge also gets a little bit worse. One of the easy ways to stop the gauge keyword from going off is to damage reduce to the attack that you are playing that has the gauge keyword, and then your opponent half blocks it. So my 2 main gauge key attacks are throws, and so a little bit of damage reduction and then the block means that it doesn't happen. But if I reduce my gauge rating down to like 0 or 1, it just means that I have to deal at least 1 damage in order to get my character off, which is all I need. Up next, we're playing double the Leader of the Saintly Beast. This card just says form, look at the top cards in my deck, and then find a gauge or character. Really solid because I get to pick up Noob, or even better, I get to pick up something like Shadow Throw or Shadow Toss. Cards fantastic. I don't think playing any more than a 2 of is what we need. Onto our defense and disruption, we're playing double Resurrected Evil. This card just says response before your opponent gets to do anything. Commit a card in their staging area equal to the number of cards that I have, or number of characters that I have. So if they've got a 3 diff, I can be like, oh, I'll commit your 3 diff. Or if they've got a really rad, does it say asset? Commit 1 card. Yeah, if they got a cool asset, I can just like commit it, and it only stacks with the more that I have. So I'll commit my 3 cards, and I get to selectively commit their 3 cards. Very strong. Up next, we're playing Triple Radical Edward. I went ahead and put this into the disruption just because of the fact that we can commit Radical Edward kind of the same way that we can commit Resurrected Evil and stop my opponent from playing specific pieces. But it's also got this really awesome flow piece that says after I check it, I get to take any character from my discard pile and bring it up to my hand, as long as that character matches my name, my standard character's name. And so I can just like accidentally check this and then pick up a Noob Saibot block, or even just play it as a form and just continue on my turn. And then the last disruption piece that we have is we've got 3 suspicious of Mr. X. This is the old version of Resurrected Evil. This is an enhance speed to commit one of their cool cards, as opposed to a response to the start of their turn. So they will get to have at least 1 enhance to do the cool thing that they want. But with this card active and having all of these pieces available to you, 9 times out of 10 when they jump into their attack turn, they're not really going to have many ready options, so that when you go in on your turn, Noob can be active to just add in a bunch of cards and then kill them. All right, and so there you have it, Noob Saibot, one of the most hyped characters from the Mortal Kombat DLC. If you like this profile and your favorite part of it, let me know down in the comments down below. I think Noob is a very cool character. We're going to be seeing a ton of him in the upcoming meta. Make sure you check out all the matches that Noob played. They'll be in a playlist out on their own, out on the channel, as well as if you enjoyed the content, let us know by going out to Patreon, patreon.com/TCG University. Sub out there and get access to a bunch of really awesome, cool stuff. So from all of us here at TCGU, thank you very much for watching, and stay learned.